Welcome to Spidell's California Minute. I'm your host, Catherine Zidane. This week we're covering some questions we continue to receive about intergenerational property transfers under Proposition 19. We cover Proposition 19 extensively in our on-demand webinar on property tax transfers, and you can see a full list of topics covered and register for this 2-hour webinar at caltax.com under webinars. In November 2020, California voters passed Proposition 19, which revised the intergenerational exclusion from property tax assessments and the base year transfers available to taxpayers who are age 55 and older, disabled, and/or disaster victims. However, taxpayers and tax professionals continue to have questions about the changes made by Proposition 19 regarding intergenerational transfers. Proposition 19 dramatically limited the property tax relief available to parents or grandparents transferring properties to their children or grandchildren, or vice versa. Under Proposition 19, for transfers on or after February 16, 2021, to qualify for the principal residence exclusion, the receiving child is required to use the residence as their own principal residence within 1 year of the transfer, and only the first $1 million of additional assessed value is excluded. Starting in 2023, the $1 million exclusion amount is indexed for inflation. For intergenerational transfers occurring on February 16, 2023 through February 15, 2025, the exclusion is equal to $1,022,600. Proposition 19 also completely eliminated the non-principal residence exclusion, but the principal residence exclusion will apply to transfers of family farms, even if there is no principal residence located on the farm. The Proposition 19 exclusion does not apply to principal residences held in an entity or irrevocable trust, including limited liability companies. There are no limits on the number of qualified transfers that can be made. If a parent resides in one home and transfers it to one of their children and then moves into another home and lives in that home for a number of years, the parent can transfer that home to another child, and both children would be able to claim the exclusion as long as they live in the home that was transferred to them. One question we frequently hear is what happens when the child moves out? In the event that a property is transferred to a child, the exclusion is available for as long as the child lives in the home. If the child moves out for more than a temporary absence and rents out the home or uses it as a vacation home, the property no longer qualifies for the exclusion. A temporary absence from the family home by either the parent or the child as a result of long-term hospitalization, military service, or temporary job transfer will not impact the availability of the exclusion. The reassessment only applies in situations where the child leaves the home for more than a temporary absence. The base year value of the property will be set at the fair market value of the property when the property was inherited, adjusted for inflation each year the child owned the property as their family home. Another question is, what if another sibling moves in? If one child moves out and another qualifying child moves in, the exclusion will remain in effect. Both children have to have been named in the transfer for the exclusion to remain in effect. If a parent left the house to one child and stock to another child, then the exclusion will only apply if the child to whom the house was left resides in the home. To preserve flexibility in terms of the exclusion, parents should consider leaving the house to all of their children. We also cover property tax extensively in Spidell's analysis and explanation of California Tax's Reference Manual. The 2024 edition is available for pre-order at caltax.com under Publications. That's all for this week. Join us next time for another episode of Spidell's California Minute.